Hi everyone. We will start in 10 minutes. If you are watching this video as an archive, you can just skip ahead these first 10 minutes. Hey Miriam, can you hear me okay? Good. And tell me, Miriam, if the sound is too loud when I play, especially in the high register. It's okay. I could lower it a little. Maybe I'll lower it a little. Yeah. Hey Sarah, good morning. It's our afternoon. Okay, so I'm going to fiddle with my levels on the new mic, and just let me know. Okay, good. Thanks, Miriam. If it's still too loud playing and too soft speaking, just let me know. Thanks. Good, Sarah. How are you doing? Good. Oh no, you just went into lockdown. Oh dear. In New Mexico, right? Or Colorado. I know you're out west somewhere. We're all fine. Oh, I'm sorry. Lockdown. Hey. Yeah. I kind of do too, I have to say. I think we're going to be a slightly smaller group today than normal, but that's fine. That's great. Oh, it's totally my pleasure. I love it. And actually, I have a funny little idea, which I'll talk about as soon as everybody gets on. Hey, Michael. Yes, nice to see you too. I think I'm gonna try and. Oh, cool, Miriam. Great. Yeah, it's a really beautiful tune. Miriam's been working on a Hungarian tune with a Hungarian guitarist. Hey, Stephen, nice to see you. Hey, Danielle. Richard. Good. Hey, Abigail. So glad you're on. Our weather here is probably similar to what it's like in Vermont today. It's sort of upper 30s, maybe around 40, kind of gray, but not too cold, which is nice. Last weekend was amazing. 65, 70 degrees. We've got about another 2 minutes here. Okay. Hey, Stephen. Yes, but it never gets real cold in Las Vegas, does it, Danielle? Michael asks if I write the music. Um, well, I don't compose these tunes. These tunes are all very traditional tunes, but I do notate them in my music uh, notation program called Sibelius, and that's how I get the ornaments printed on the lower line, the lower staff in a few cases, and things like that. I have written some klezmer tunes, and I was actually thinking about maybe doing one of those with you guys at some point. But right now we're just doing some traditional tunes, and this tune was specifically requested by Aya on the Facebook page. So and it's a great tune. Mm. Yes, Danielle, I know. Crazy, crazy climate extremes. So, okay, everybody, it's 1 o'clock. So I think we should get started. And the first thing is welcome. And I hope everybody is safe wherever you are. We're a slightly smaller group today, which is fine. It's great. And actually, it gives me a chance to present a new idea that just sort of came to me this morning, which is maybe we can try at some point putting together a video on an app like Acapella, which is where each person can record and collaborate, do a collaborative recording. And we can do a klezmer tune. And perhaps, Michael, you could play the accordion. And I know Karen, who's not on today, plays bass clarinet, and she could play the bass line. And I think we can get up to like 9 people on this particular app. I'm doing it with some students of mine at the university in a clarinet ensemble. And I think it might be fun. It's not professional, doesn't have to be slick or polished or anything, but we could actually, everyone could record their part of a piece or just the melody, and we can have the melody doubled and the harmony lines doubled and call and response. And I think it'd be really fun. And then we could put it on Facebook if we wanted. Okay. Oh, hey, Aya. I was just talking about having an idea about doing a collaborative video of one of these klezmer tunes. Anyway, let's get started. Aya, you had suggested this tune, and I love this tune. It's a great tune. It's a Turkisher. And hey, Larry. And the thing about a Turkisher primarily is that it implies a particular rhythm. Dut, da, dut, 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 da, dut, dut. Arabertans is a Turkisher also, but that's kind of more mysterious, I think of Salome and the Dance of Seven Veils. This one is a little more in your face. It's a little more angular. And Turkishers don't necessarily mean that they're from Turkey, but this particular melody does appear in many different cultures, Mediterranean and Eastern European. This is a Greek melody, a Turkish melody. It appears in Sephardic music. So this particular melody, has sort of a varied existence. And if you think about it, the title is Der Turk in Amerika. So you have this Ukrainian Jewish immigrant, Naftuli Brandwein, recording a Greek-Turkish melody titled Der Turk in Amerika, and he's recording it in New York. Oh, I didn't see those, Stephen. So my point is that this sort of shows the fluidity of cross-cultural influences, and it happens continuously throughout history. And to me, it's really the beauty of all artistic disciplines that, music changes, and the creative impulse inside all of us is infinite and it's universal. And so the fact that we have a Ukrainian, Eastern European Jewish klezmer playing this tune that also exists in other regions, and he titles it in America. It's just emblematic of this, and I think it's such a beautiful thing. Like this little klezmer thing is a microcosm of a much larger phenomenon. And klezmer, as you know, fuses today with reggae, with, obviously with jazz, with hip hop. And not all of those fusions are necessarily good, but they're all great in that they really illustrate sort of this wonderful creative and imaginative spirit that's inside all of us. And some of those fusions are fantastic. So anyway, that's my little spiel. Let's play. So let's start with the scales. And this particular tune is in E natural minor. So look on measure 38 at the bottom and of the first page, and we'll play the scale together. 1, 2, 3, and. And now briefly at the end of the tune, it goes into E Fraigish. So let's play the E Fraigish scale. This has F natural G sharp. 1, 2, ready, and. And the other thing that you can see is the rhythm that I wrote in bar 46. The trombone might play it, a secunda violinist might play it, and the rhythm is bop, 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 starts on low E, bar 46. 1, 2, 3, and. And actually, after I wrote that, I realized it probably would sound better. That's probably more likely what a trombonist would play. So instead of, we have E, and this is B to G, which just outlines the E minor triad, a trombonist would probably play E, E, B, E, 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 B, E. Right? But mainly that's just to sort of give you a sense of the rhythm. So I'm going to play a little bit at the beginning at double A, just so you can hear it, and then we'll all play it together. And then it sort of goes on from there. Oh, hey, Zelda, I'm so glad you're on. So let's just read the low register. No repeats, no ornaments. And if you want, the letters, of course, are the same, like last time. You can read either the low register or the high register. If you want to just jump right into the high register, that's fine. That's great. And if you want to start ornamenting when we're doing the low register, that's great too. I'm just going to play it as sort of as basic as we can, just so you get the skeleton of the melody and a little under tempo. So it's da, 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 da. 1, 2, letter A. 1, 2, 3. And let's go on. So a couple of things. First, I made a mistake at letter B when I was printing this out, doing the notation for this. The first note at letter B should be an E, not an F sharp. So if you have your music printed and want to change that. Now the other thing is the rhythm, dot, 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 dot. And you can play it with a lot of accents. So let's try letter A. Okay, just the first two lines. 1, 2, letter A with accents. 1, 2, 3. So you can hear that the rhythm is very snappy, and it'll be even more snappy when we do the high register. The triplets, I'm tonguing them. If you're more comfortable slurring, you can. But in this tune, I want to talk, especially when we go in the high register, a lot about articulation. So if you want to just tongue them all, that would be, that would be a good start. The other thing I really want to impress upon you is that if you do nothing else but play with a lot of vibrato, it will really color your klezmer playing a lot. So every time there's a long note, for instance, like 1 before C, even if you do no other ornaments, play with a lot of vibrato on that E. So if we go 2 before, before C, 2 before C, 1, 2, 3. And I use a lip vibrato, wah, 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 but I try not to go. Yes, Brandwein does tongue the triplets, and that's why and he also tongues the 16ths, which is a little more tricky. But I have some tips for you on how to do that when we do the high register. So okay, so vibrato. So that's how I do vibrato. You don't necessarily want to dip the pitch. You don't really want that, but it is sort of moving the jaw. And your air, you have to really support it. So every time you have a long note, try doing that. Let's start at letter B, and letter B starts on the note E, and see if you can just put in vibrato. 1, letter B, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now jump to letter E for a second. Letter E. Letter E is where it goes into Fraigish, and we know this because of that G sharp. As soon as we have that G sharp, we're in Fränkisch. Play from letter D and then listen to how it changes from E minor to E Fränkisch. We're going to go from to this. Okay, that's the harmony underlying it. Let's try letter D. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's a really cool moment in the tune. I tried to signal with my hand while I was playing. You could hear I was doing a lot of vibrato. I'm trying to get you to do vibrato if you're not used to it. Some of you are, I know. And now let's look at the second of E, the second bar of E, where we have those 16ths. So if you want to get secure in your technique, you have to sort of break these things, passages like this down and I do it in a very particular way. It's a little bit maybe overly methodical, but where's my metronome? But I will show you. So, and then we're going to do this in the high register too. So look at the second bar of E where we have those 16th notes. So rather than just jumping in fast and keep playing it over and over fast, you don't want to do it that way. And what you want to do is break it down. So put your metronome on a slow tempo when this is 1 note per beat. We'll go a little faster. So hopefully you can hear the metronome. This is the group of 16ths starting on the F natural, second beat of second bar of E. And this is how I would practice it. 1, 2, 3. Let's try it together. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And now I move the metronome up. Not too much, still 1 note per beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Move it up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to go to 2 notes per beat. Da 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 da. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Move it up. 1, 2, 1, and. Now we go to quarter notes where there's 4 notes per beat. Ba da 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 da. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And we can go a little faster. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And I got to tell you, I've been practicing like that from the time when I started clarinet when I was 11 years old. And I do it to this day all the time. In fact, when I was preparing for this class, I had to go back and do it because it wasn't clean in my fingers, especially the high register one. So there's no shame in taking things not just slow, but using your metronome so that you don't go too fast too soon when you're learning technique. And that's how you clean up your technique. So now when you go to play it, it's there. It's in your fingers. Okay, good. Let's go on to the high register. Now, if you just want to stay in the low register, you are more than welcome. I'll just use letter names. And Michael, I forgot to say that you would be playing the chords, the chord changes in this Turkisher rhythm. Okay, I mean I'm sure you know that, but I just wanted to remind you. Okay, good. Let's read double A. Here we go. And you can see that I did not put slurs on some of these triplets and techniques, 16ths. Here we go. 1, a little under tempo. 2, AA. 1, 2, 3, 4. And go on. If you look at the bottom line at double A, you see the ornaments. So you see that instead of playing da, 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 the style in a Turkisher is da, 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 da. Instead of da, 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 we go da, 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 especially in this Turkisher, with a couple of grace notes. Let's try double A. The second line, the lower line, okay, with the ornaments, with the smaller notes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Da 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 da, and the third bar of double A, da 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 da. Da da on the beat. Da 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 da. I like to put in some other little clacks. You can go G, A, G, F sharp. Or you can go, make it a clack G, A, F sharp, E. Or one is a little more lyrical, one is a little more angular klezmer, but they're both good. And if you're not yet totally comfortable with the clacks, that's, you can just put in that little mordant. Yes, it's exactly like double dotting in French Baroque music. Yes, Stephen, that's exactly what it is. So what Stephen is referring to is instead of going ta, 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 we're going da, ta, ta, ta. So we're making the small note very late and very close to the note that follows it. That's called double dotting in a certain genre of classical music, and it's totally appropriate in this particular tune. So let's go on. Now double B. Let's play double B once, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. you can see I notated these things that I'm talking about, the fifth bar of double B at that lower line. So I put in that double dotted rhythm, I put in some grace notes, and I put in some crets. So let's try, this is bar 60, the fifth bar of double B. One, and see if you can play the small notes, the ornaments. One, inflections, I mean. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3. So I don't know if seeing the fingers helps. I'm also engaging my tongue to make those notes ghosted. And then a little dreidlech into that whole note there before double C. Now double C. I have that mordant turn, the third note in double C, that B. And in classical music, it pretty much means that, like a sort of a lyrical turn. So it's B, C, B, A. And the trick about these ornaments is that you have to go to the next note that's printed. So don't get hung up on what note comes after the printed B. Don't get hung up on the C or the B. Go all the way to the A. It almost doesn't matter what comes out. Just do, there are several different kinds of ornaments we can do, but you want to go all the way to the A. So we're going to go, right? Don't make a big deal about the BCB. You could also trill on that B by, I use my 2 bottom side keys to get a fast trill. You could trill regular. And again, the trick is not to get hung up on the trill. Go right to the next note, to the A. And then that A goes right to the G, so we don't get behind. Now you could also do this. So I'm making a little cut. I go B, C, A. And I put my tongue on the high C, da, ha, ta. And that's how I get that cut. Any one of these 3 ornaments will work. And you can sort of mix them up so it never quite sounds the same. Can those also be mordants? Yeah, I could have also put a mordant sign in, Danielle. Yes, exactly. So that's kind of lyrical, right? This is a little more dramatic. This is a little more Jewish. Right? There's a whole range that you can bring in. Now, third bar of double C. I purposely did not put in a slur mark over those 16th notes because I want you to get practice with tonguing them all. Naftali Brandwein had an incredibly fast tongue, and so he would tongue all these things. So if we slur it, it's a little too classical sounding, right? A little too legit sounding. It's nice, you know, in arabitons, that kind of thing. I play arabitons very, very slurred and very lyrical. But here, look, if we tongue it all, right? Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. And let's try it slowly. You're going to tongue those 4/16ths. We're going to start the third bar of C. 1, 2, third bar of C, 3, and. Richard asks, what about sliding 2 notes there? Oh, you're talking back at double C. Yes, you can do that too, Richard. That's great. I like that. Yeah, lots of things to do. And part of what you're going to find is you have to find what works for you. So for instance, right where we are now in in this passage with the 16ths, the third of double C, if you don't have a very fast tongue and you want to slur two and tongue two, that's fine. You can go tongue all four, tongue slur the first two, go taha taha ta, slur two, and then slur the next two. So, but if you want to tongue them all, here's a trick. Here's a little trick. And I do this and I have to mark it because I need to remember it when I need to do it. If you have a fast tonguing passage coming up, one thing you can do is give yourself the slightest pause just before the first note of the fast tonguing passage, and it sort of sets you up. It's like this. It's subtle and you can make it very subtle, but you have that room to do that. If I jump right in, I'm very likely to have miscoordination between my fingers and my tongue, but if I give myself just a microcosm of an instant to set up the fast tonguing passage, it works. Better for me anyway. Da 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 da. Let's try from double C and see if you can do that. Okay. Double C. One, a little under tempo. Two. 1, 2, 3, and. Now try it a little faster. See if you can tongue all those 4/16ths. Double C. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now, one other thing, all of these ornaments that we're doing in the upper register, you can apply to the low register. So at letter C, you can go. Obviously, you can put in those turns. That works. And the other thing is, I was going to say something else. Oh, whenever you have this figure, that comes back a lot. I don't like the sound of my reed today. That comes back a lot. For instance, we have it in 2 before double C. Right? And 2 before double C on the lower staff, I have it ornamented. And so you can do that little business with cracks and slides 2 before double D, because it's the same note patterns. Could you use the double tongue? Or better not to do this. Okay, so Aya is asking about double tonguing. Double tonguing is a technique where instead of going ta ta ta, you go ta-ka ta-ka ta. I haven't practiced double tonguing in a long time. You could. I don't really double tongue in the high register because I crack a lot. Low register, it's a little easier for me. Flutists double tongue, trumpet, brass players double tongue. Clarinetists don't double tongue as often because it's, the single reed and the mouthpiece doesn't lend itself as well. But plenty of people do. For me, what I do with double tongue is if I have a special effect, like maybe in a doina or something, on a single note. Something like that. I think double tonguing is a terrible idea because I can't do it on the clarinet. I don't double tongue ever. I just try to quick my single tongue. Yeah. When I double tongue, it's sometimes maybe like in cadenzas on a special thing where I'm free. If I have to try to double tongue on a passage where I'm changing notes, I don't do it so good. I would really have to practice it. I'm better off just getting a fast single tongue or putting in a quick slur. And what I do here, maybe to compensate, because my single tongue, no one's single tongue is ever as fast as their double tongue. If I give myself that little pause before the 4/16ths, I can do it. Listen to Martin Frost. Oh, I know. Well, Martin Frost is sort of a freak of nature. I know. He's incredible. He's amazing. But anyway, yeah, it's like circular breathing. If you practice it a lot, you can do it. If you really want to get good at it, you practice it a lot and you do it. You sort of make it your priority and you can do it. Martin Frost can do anything. And if for those of you who've never heard Martin Frost, I'm sure you all have. He's just incredible. All right, let's go on a little bit. So double D, I wrote out some of the ornaments on the lower line. And you can try it. Let's try the lower line if you want, a double D. Yes, I know. I wouldn't either, Stephen. Here we go, double D. 1, 2, high E. So it starts on a high E. 1, 2, 3. So you can put in a grace note, which isn't printed here, but you can put in a D sharp E grace note to that first note at double D. Right? D sharp E. You can always put in like neighboring tone grace notes. And then I do a little cleft instead of you can either overblow open G for that D, which is what that little circle above D means, or you can even do regular. That second D doesn't really need to speak. It's a ghost note. And then Naftuli Brandwein in the second of double D does a little dip. So you can kind of try that. You want to time it so that the coming back to the pitch is on the downbeat of the third of double D. That's another thing about slides. A lot of it has to do with timing, so that when you come back out of a slide, or when you come out of a slide at the arrival pitch, you arrive at that pitch in time. Okay, let's same thing after double D. 1, 2, 3. The fourth of double D, instead of just going, you can do this rhythm. Bum, ba da boop, ba da boop, ba da ba da ba. And you can make little cuts out of them by ghosting the second 16th. And vibrato on your long note. Now here, 4 before double E, you can cry on those B's. And here, 2 before double E, you can tongue them all. So again, get yourself set up. Ta 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 ta. Go from 4 before double E. 1, 2. 4 before double E. 1, 2, 3. If you have trouble single tonguing them all, put in a slur. Or put in more slurs. If it goes really fast, you have to do what works for you. Now, double E is where it goes back into Frege, or where it goes into Frege for the first time with that G sharp. It's a magical moment. So instead of going da da, we go da 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 do da 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 da. Look at that bottom staff. Okay. Here's the real sort of the money passage in this tune, the 16th, starting on the high F. Let's do, how much time do we have? Oh, we have time. We have a few minutes. Let's just do my little practice technique of one note per beat. We're going to start on that high F, da, da, da. So you get the notes. High F, second bar of double E. 1, 2, 3. And we move it up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Move it up. 1, 2, ready, and. And now we go 2 notes per beat. Da 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 da. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. A little quicker. Da 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 da. 1, 2, ready, and. One, two, ready. Now, 16th. Da 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 da. See if you can do it this speed. Da 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 da. 1, 2, ready, and. If I try to play a passage like that without really breaking it down, very sort of, in this very kind of methodical way, I don't play it that cleanly. I don't own it. You want to own these technical passages. Now, there's something else that Brandwein does here, and you can do this too in your fast passages, is he puts in little trills. And that's what makes this sound like, when you listen, it's like, whoa, what was that? Kind of, So he goes, let me do it again. See, I didn't do it so good. So, slowly. So over in the third beat of the second bar of double E, the third beat on the second B, and then again on the second G sharp. You put in just a little ba-da-la-dum, ba-da-la-dum, right here, right here. So that BCBA, it's exactly the same BCBA we've had in all of these little turns throughout this tune. It's just now it's coming really fast. And it doesn't even have to be that clean. It's just sort of an effect. And it's like the notes kind of spill over and it really kind of takes the listener by surprise. So let's try it, putting in those little turns. We'll go slowly. Da 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 da. Right on the high F. 2, ready, and. And then I just kind of went on. Let's try it a little quicker. 1, 2, ready, and. So let's try the whole thing, okay? How about no repeats? You can play low register or you can play high register. I'm going to play the high register. And let's see if you can put in all these things, vibrato and turns and double dotted rhythms and tonguing of the 16th passages, all of it. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, a little under tempo. 1, 2, 3. Go on. Okay, good, you guys. Do you have any questions? See, I can't find my thing. Oh, there it is. So in case you joined late, I was talking about maybe doing a little video, collaborative video on a platform like Acapella, which is not a great app, but it works. And maybe in a month or in a couple of weeks, I'll email everybody about that and see what you think, see who's interested. It'll just be sort of fun and informal. Everybody can double the same line. I think it might be kind of fun. All right, everybody. Well, stay safe. And the next one is the third Sunday in December. That's the date I have. I can't offhand think of the date, but it's on the. It's on my website. And Martin Frozy. Okay, thanks you guys. You're all wonderful, and I look forward to doing this again next month. Okay, take care.